The galaxy far, far away gave the box office the shot in the arm it so desperately needed after a fall that saw continuously diminishing returns. Running far and away with first place is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Read our review. With a whopping $220 million in its opening weekend, the latest installment of the Skywalker saga was the year's last major event film, and fully delivered on its promise. In addition to being the new Star Wars film and facing limited competition, Episode 8 has also generated a rather intriguing discussion as it became quite polarizing. Critics praised the film for its bold narrative and risky choices, but fans were more divided on the matter. This only raised interest in seeing it, so viewers could form their own opinions on the movie. Some people even saw it multiple times on opening weekend, which certainly gave these figures a boost. In terms of the numbers, The Last Jedi is the fourth movie in history to make $200+ million in its first 3 days and is the second largest opening weekend of all time domestically. The only film it trails is The Force Awakens, which earned $247.9 million when it opened back in 2015. Episode 8 was never expected to best its predecessor, but still exceeded expectations, somehow, and now stands at $450 million globally. Already, Last Jedi is the 10th highest grossing film on the 2017 domestic charts, eclipsing the US total of fellow blockbuster Justice League in just 3 days. Those figures will only continue to rise throughout the remainder of the month, especially when holiday breaks start and families are off. In a very distant second is Ferdinand, the new animated film starring John Cena as a talking bull. Obviously, Fox had no delusions of competing with Star Wars when they chose this weekend for its debut, but it was able to provide a counter-programming option for families with younger children. Star Wars is a cross-generational affair, but it's still rated PG-13 and contains scenes that could be intense for the juicebox crowd. Ferdinand did the best it could, earning $13.3 million in its first 3 days. Coming in third is Coco with $10 million. The latest from Pixar is now up to $150.8 million. It has done most of its business overseas, with a worldwide total standing at $448.2 million. In fourth is Wonder. The family film grossed $5.4 million in its fifth weekend to raise its domestic total to $109.2 million. Rounding out the top 5 is Justice League, which took a substantial hit in business with the arrival of another franchise film this weekend. DC Extended Universe Team Up made $4.1 million and now stands at $219.4 million. Coming in sixth is Daddy's Home 2. The comedy sequel made $3.8 million to raise its stateside haul to $96.5 million. Still hanging around the top in seventh is Thor: Ragnarok with $2.9 million. Marvel's latest hit has now made $306.3 million domestically. James Franco as the Disaster Artist is in 8th place with $2.6 million. The awards contender is now up to $12.9 million domestically, thanks to the positive buzz for Franco's performance as Tommy Wiseau. The number 9 movie is Murder on the Orient Express with $2.4 million, which raised the murder mystery's total to $97.2 million. Capping off the top 10 is Oscar frontrunner Lady Bird, which earned $2.1 million. Greta Gerwig's contender is now up to $25.9 million. Note, these are only weekend box office estimates, based on Friday and Saturday ticket sales coupled with adjusted expectations for Sunday. Official weekend box office results will be released on Monday, December 18th, at which time we'll update this post with any changes. Source: Box Office.